choose to be respectful, if you choose to listen to your teachers and doing the right things and at the right time, whatever you want to do with your life, since if you are a matter of time, when you are at Merryland to study, you do the studies, and the other things that you would love to do at Merryland, you will get time to do them as well in their right time. So how we can contribute is surely coming back, and I actually use this opportunity to reach out to each and every alumni to make sure that we try to see how we can make a consolidated body of Merryland alumni and consolidate ourselves and better know on how we can better make contribution to our former school. Maybe it can be through developmental purposes of infrastructure, it can be through mentorship, it can be through career guidance, it can be through a number of spheres of where God has enabled us succeed in. Then we can get back and give mentorship to the occupants that are there, because one of the most indispensable tools one accepts that the youth of any part of society desire so much to have is the part of mentorship. You see, mentorship is very indispensable, that any youth in their stage of development require to have it at its full throttle, because the relevance of mentorship in itself is that it enables you to reach somewhere faster, more than your mentor. So when I was at Merryland, obviously people, we are human beings, we make a lot of mistakes. I was some kind of stubborn, but I know how that stubbornness made me lose a number of things. So if I get a chance to interact with one who has just even entered Merryland, I can easily guide you so that you do not make the same mistakes that I made. Then you will go through Merryland smoothly and see yourself out of it at a very fast rate, more than the time that us we wasted. I think one of the things that I always remember when one talks about Merryland was Vespers. The moment of Vespers, where we go sing to the Lord, and there was always a prayer week. We could dedicate more time praying to the Almighty Lord. I was always arguing with colleagues that I found in the other school I went to, where we were studying so much even on weekends and here and there, but when results were coming back, still Merryland was better. So I was curious, kept on asking myself, while we were at Merryland, we didn't overstudy like we are studying here, but still we are not excelling as much as they are excelling with the free time they have in their schedules. So Vespers, the Sabbath, the time of the Sabbath, the day of rest, where you really have quality time to rest with friends, you interact. Of course, the good food on Sabbath is something any student cannot forget. That was a memory one cannot forget. The campus at which I attended, we had fruits in compound. Any day when it is a mango season, you go and pick a mango and eat. So it was really a very beautiful environment. God blessed that environment with the cool breeze from Lake Victoria, the evergreen environment with fresh air. Sure, it's a very conducive environment where academic journey for any student can easily thrive. At Merryland, one would appreciate that balancing free time, balancing worshiping the Almighty Lord and lecture time were things that were actually very relevant in the personal growth, the spiritual growth of any lad, any young person, any younger individual. So I believe the experience that Merryland molded us into appreciating of how we can balance all those relevant times in the social development of a student are very key. Even during this time while we are pursuing our education, you realize that one gets to be so much absorbed into the complex theories that we try to study here at campus. So if you do not give yourself some free time to free up that stress, to free up the academic rigor, most of the times it can throw you into depression. But learning how to balance all of those has really helped me personally to go through risks of mental health and other psychological challenges. Yeah, my last message I will share with my Merryland family, my alumni, is that to the alumni specifically, let us come together, let us see how we can get together and make a solid contribution to this institution that really was there for us and groomed us in all other spheres of life. To the students that are at Merryland, all I want to tell you is that you are at the right place. If that particular place you are at was in a position to build, to nurture and mentor the current group president of Makerere University, to me it is one of the best things that has happened to me, because I'm a first generation student. No one of my clan members has come through Makerere. So it's the best thing that has ever happened to my life. And I believe you can also be a good president. You can even be more than a good president through Merryland. We have MPs, the Honorable Zakes have been through Merryland. We have Miss Worlds, we have Abenacho, we have musicians, we have EPAS. So in whatever sphere that you're making contribution in that part of community, Merryland, make your contribution. Make your contribution count. In whatever you're doing, strive always to be the best in whatever you are doing, so that when you are absent in that particular field, surely your absence will be felt. But still, you will not be in position to reach that particular milestone if you do not have discipline. Discipline is very key for any young man. It is something that I will tell you now and tell you always. Any young man, you need to be disciplined. You need to be respectful of the people that have walked the journey that you're trying to walk. You're trying to go through that secondary life of schooling, but your teachers or even us have gone through it. So really, when you get a word from any one of us or even your teachers, it is something that comes out of experience. Someone is telling you something they have also gone through. So be disciplined, listen to your teachers, seek God, love your neighbors, you love yourself. It is very important. Yes, how I got in Merryland High School, Katabi campus. I was, of course, I had finished my primary 7 from the deep villages of Kalisizo. That is at a school called Nabonga Fountain of Education Primary School. And by God's grace, I had emerged one of the best students in the district with a 4 aggregate. So there is a lady called Madam Penina. She came through at our school when we were having Thanksgiving. She came through and she interacted with my science teacher. My science teacher is called Mr. Sempira. They interacted. I think Madam Penina engaged him on how they wanted to provide bursaries to those students that have really performed to their best. So what I experienced one day, Teacher Sempira, my Muzei receives a call from Teacher Sempira telling him that they should get me to school. There is a lady who wants to interact with me about how I think, how I'm going to advance in my ordinary level kind of education. So I get to Nabunga, I find Madam Penina, we interact. She tells me how I was thinking of engaging with education at a higher level. Of course, my mind was of course around Kalisizo because we didn't have any other chance, because my musée didn't really have capacity to educate me at a school like Merryland is merely a smallholder farmer. Not to justify that Merryland is for expensive people, it's affordable. But at his level as a smallholder farmer in the deep villages of Masaka, he didn't have even the little capacity of affording a 500k to pay for tuition, for school fees at Merryland, which it was at the time. So Madam Penina tells me that they have provided with me a full bursary because I had the 4 aggregate. I was surely very happy. I was surely very happy. Merryland educated me, provided me a full bursary. We came and visited before I entered officially. When the term started, I got my uniform. And I became fully, I registered and became fully a student of Maryland. So Maryland educated me with a full bursary, called them academic giants. I was an academic giant. Yeah, sure. Yeah, well done.